That's right. I told him I'm.
I really forgot. I didn't. I must not have read that. Yeah. Hey, where's Post?
He's not here tonight. Oh, there he is. He wasn't gonna come.
This is, so we actually put it out for bid, so the bid came back a little bit higher, but we've got all three bids, this is the low bid.
For the mayor and
Yes, yes. Is that what the mayor? Yes, it's approving the purchase, so it's the mayor.
There he is.
I know. He said he wasn't gonna be here.
Who wins?
I would say you. His is just flat.
Yes. Kind of bland.
Although, if I put Murdoch in there, I would pick his first because I really like him.
He's not in the contest.
He's not in the contest.
That's not fair,
If you're wanting me to vote, I'm being honest.
right? Yeah, it looks like wrapping paper. I like that.
It's very like
That, that's a question for me, or for Dave, they'll know.
Definitely. Yeah. Yes, preppy. I don't know what I want to say. Ratty?
yes,
Or is that have a negative connotation?
might be.
It is what it is.
It looks very like southern proper.
Yeah. I mean, I like this. Yeah, definitely. Like his family will have matching dresses.
Yes. Are you ready? Let's go.
we are ready.
Okay. Being that it is 5:30 PM, we will call the city council meeting to order on December 19th, 2023. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Lesko, will you please call the roll?
Will do. Alderman Redpath.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Rockford.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman Notriano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Conley.
On the phone.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mayor Busher.
Present.
Mayor Busher, a quorum is present.
Thank you, sir. The civility pledge. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. There are no proclamations this evening, so we're going to go into the zoning agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Alderman Donlin.
I'd like to make a motion per the rules of the statute and the city code to permit Alderwoman Conley the opportunity to participate via phone.
We have a motion to let Alderwoman in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alderwoman Conley, you still there?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. The next item on the agenda is docket number 2023-042 for the property located at 3521, 3541, 3601, and 3621 Westgate Drive. The petitioner is Charles W. Adams. Present zoning classification is S2, Community Shopping and Office District, Section 155.031. Requested zoning relief is reclassification to R2, Single Family and Duplex Residence District, Section 155.017. Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning Staff recommendation is approval. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation is accept the recommendation of the Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning Staff and approve as submitted. The chair will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion we approve per staff recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion to approve per staff recommendation. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no.
Clerk on the yes.
Thank you.
So the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda is docket number 2023-043 for the property located at 3205 Clear Lake Avenue. Petitioners are Lamar Company LLC. Present zoning classification is B1 Highway Business Service District, Section 155.033. Requested zoning relief is a conditional permitted use pursuant to 155.341A, B, and C for approval of an off-premise sign to extend an additional 5 feet above the ground for a total height of no more than 40 feet in lieu of the zoning ordinance's 35 feet height limit and applicable variances to permit the issuance of a sign permit approving the relocation of the existing sign on the 6th Street property with a new sign and structure on the subject real estate containing 2 face sign, one facing generally east and one facing generally west. Each sign will be 10 foot 6 inches high and 36 feet wide, totaling 378 square feet of signage for each sign face, and an electronic digital display on the eastern sign face. Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff recommendation is approval of the requested conditional permitted use, provided that 1, the height, dimensions, and sign area of the proposed sign faces limited to no more than 2 faces total shall not exceed 40 feet in height and 10.5 feet tall by 36 feet wide, with an area not to exceed 378 square feet. 2, the electronic display face will display messages that do not change more frequently than the set 8 to 10 second cycle mentioned in paragraph number 10 of the petition. And 3, messages displayed shall be static images that do not include moving, scrolling, blinking, flashing, or animated graphics. And 4, the digital sign shall face east as described in the petition and its exhibits. Recommend approval of the requested variances as submitted. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation, God bless you. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation is accept the recommendation of the Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff. Chair will entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve as recommended by the committee.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve as recommended by the staff. Can I get a second? Second. Any discussion on this zoning item? All those in favor?
Aye.
Vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. Alderwoman Conley?
Yes.
And the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda is docket number 2023-044 for the property located at 2025 South MacArthur Boulevard, Unit B. The petitioner is Springfield 3rd Edition, LLC. The present zoning classification is B1 Highway Business Service District, Section 155.033. Requested zoning relief is a conditional permitted use in the B1 district, Sections 155.033, C6, and 155.211, to allow for a restaurant with the service of alcohol in conjunction with food service, limited to tenant space Unit B, which is approximately 19 feet by 6 inches wide by 54 foot deep for approximately 1,053 square feet. Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff recommendation is approval of the conditional permitted use, provided that 1, the restaurant is limited to no more than 1,053 square feet in Unit B, as described in the petition and its exhibits, and 2, the hours of operation are limited to the hours specified in the city liquor license. There is adequate off-street parking on the property for the proposed uses, and the restaurant will not expand. The restaurant fronts MacArthur Boulevard, a commercial thoroughfare where such a business might be expected to be located. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation is accept the recommendation of the Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning. Chair will entertain a motion.
Yes, I move that we accept the recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Anyone need to speak on this particular item? Seeing none, all those in favor of the ordinance, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no.
Mayor, yes.
Okay, thank you. And the motion passes with 10 voting yes and none voting no. The next item on the agenda is docket number 2023-045 for the property located at 2112 Austin Drive. The petitioner is Patrick J. Giacomini. The present zoning classification is R2, single family and duplex residence, section 155.017. The requested zoning relief as per Exhibit B, a variance of section 155.061, basic yard requirements for the proposed 2,114 Austin Drive lot for a total side yard setback of 9.54 feet instead of the required 10 feet, and a variance of section 155.055, minimum lot width for residences, to allow a lot width of 21.61 feet instead of 35 feet per code. In the event that it is not practical or allowable to subdivide the property as depicted on Exhibit B, petitioner will subdivide as depicted on Exhibit C. In that event, petitioner further requests a variance of section 155.114 regulations for the location of off-street parking facilities for the proposed 2,112 Austin Drive lot to allow accessory off-street parking spaces to be located on a different zoning lot, namely the proposed 2,114 Austin lot. Subsequent thereto, the proposed 2,112 Austin Drive lot will have access to the garage and ingress-egress areas by virtue of an easement to be granted by the proposed 2,114 Austin Drive lot owner to the owner of the proposed 2,112 Austin Drive lot, which is illustrated on Exhibit C. Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning Staff recommendation is approval of the variances as submitted. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation is accept the recommendation of the Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning. The chair will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
We have a motion and a second to accept staff recommendation. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. Go ahead, sorry. So that's Alderwoman Conley, you're a yes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 10 voting yes, none voting no, the motion passes. The chair is now going to recognize, oh, I'll wait 1 minute, sorry. Zipping right along. The chair recognizes Treasurer Redpath Fager for the presentation of the financial report.
Thank you. The Treasurer's Report for the Corporate Fund for the month of November. The beginning balance, $68,155,575. We took in total receipts of $11,848,956. We had total disbursements in the month of November totaling $9,851,566, which left the corporate fund ending balance in the month of November at $70,152,965. The ending general fund balance includes $17,138,693, which is the November ending balance for the ARPA money. That concludes my report. Thank you.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the financial report. Thank you, Treasurer Redpath Fager. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the treasurer's report? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion carries. The chair will also recognize the OBM Director, Metzger, for any questions on the OBM contract report. Do we have any questions from the council? Okay, seeing none. We do have one presentation, so I am going to ask, is Neha running this? All right. I'll let Neha come up and introduce herself to those of you who may not know her. So.
Good evening. I'm Neha Rao, the Chief Accountant for the city. We have our auditor, Brad Porter from Lauterbach and Amon, who's going to present the audit report for fiscal year 2023.
When you are ready to change screens, just say next, please.
Awesome. Certainly can. Thank you, Neha. I appreciate it. Good evening, members of council. My name is Brad Porter. I'm here on behalf of Lauterbach and Amon as the principal overseeing the financial statement audit process for the city. Very appreciative of the opportunity to be here tonight. And before I jump into all the good stuff we got on the agenda tonight, I wanted to give a special thank you to the finance team of both the city and CWLP for all of their efforts. As you'll see depicted on a future slide here, an audit is really a culmination of so many different components happening throughout the course of any given year. So I know our team really is appreciative of everything that they contribute towards our audit process that makes it such a success. Now, my goal tonight, as you can see, there's a lot of material within each of these documents that you've received. So my goal would be to help digest that into a little bit more user-friendly chunks and pieces, things that may be more beneficial to members of council. So during this presentation, if you could turn the slide, please. We'll cover things such as our audit timeline and process, the related documents that we've issued at the conclusion of our process, the financial reporting award that's issued by the GFOA. We'll discuss what our responsibility is for your audit process, and that is to generate an opinion on the financial statements that are provided to us. And then we will jump into the annual comprehensive financial report, which is going to be the thick bound document that you've received tonight. If you could please turn the slide. So I think it's important to note that an audit is not just the couple of month period following year end. Really, we're kicking things off in as early as February with an initial planning meeting where we're meeting with city staff, talking through general requests and materials for our audit process, going through things such as significant changes that may have happened from fiscal year 2022 to fiscal year 2023, which is helping to kind of lay the initial foundation for the entirety of the audit process. From there, in March and April, we're conducting what we call our internal control walkthroughs, which is going to be taking our time walking through processes such as the city's cash receipting, disbursements, payroll, utility billing, etc., with the initial goal of making sure that we can rely on the internal control environment for the sake of generating our opinion. From there, we move into May and June, into the summer months, where we're taking the audit trial balances provided by city staff, ticking and tying, doing what auditors do best, with the goal of generating an opinion on the financials. We tend to focus most of our time and energy up front on the CWLP funds because of their bond covenant deadlines. We need to make sure that we're getting the final audit out the door by the end of July. Shifting our focus from CWLP to city, we then seek to have the city audit finalized in the month of October. And we wrap things up in November with our single audit testing, where we're taking all of your major programs at the federal level and performing a number of compliance-related procedures on those specific programs. If you could please jump to the next slide. So at the conclusion of our audit process, we issue a number of documents, not only the annual comprehensive financial report, or more commonly known as your audit. We also issue fund-level financial reports for the cemetery fund, local foreign fire insurance, water, and electric for the respective purposes. In accordance with Statement on Auditing Standard number 114, we are required to state whether or not we had any disagreements or difficulties that we had encountered throughout our audit process, and I'm happy to report that in the body of that letter you will find no such disagreements or difficulties noted. In the last document, oftentimes the least favorite part of my conversation would be a management letter. The primary purpose of our management letter is going to be to convey any best practices that we see across some of our comparable municipal clients, as well as upcoming accounting standards that may have an impact on the city. So I'm happy to report that for the fiscal year ended February 28th, 2023, we had just 2 current recommendations, both of which related to upcoming accounting standards. So speaking from experience, the city does a tremendous job of digesting those standards and taking the proactive steps towards implementation. So we have all the faith in the world that those standards will be implemented appropriately for fiscal year 2024 and beyond. If you can please jump slides. So now we'll take the opportunity to jump into the annual comprehensive financial report. I know everyone was distributed a paper copy. The page numbers that are referenced here are page numbers within the actual PDF if you're following along electronic. So please keep that in mind. But I oftentimes like to start with some good news. So if you could turn with me to page 16 of the PDF. I'd like to point out that the city was the recipient of the Certificate of Achievement Award that was issued by the Government Finance Officers Association for the fiscal year ended February 28th, 2022. You may be thinking that this is 1 year in arrears, and you would be correct. Ultimately, we'll be taking the fiscal year 23 audit document and applying for that award as well. We anticipate no hurdles in the application and receiving of that award once again for fiscal year 2023. But ultimately, this Certificate of Achievement Award is the highest form of financial reporting excellence that any governmental entity can receive. So it is certainly an accomplishment, one that the city should be proud of. Moving on, thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind turning with me to pages 19 through 21 of the PDF. I'd like to point out what we call our independent auditor's report. I look at these as the most important pages within your entire audit document. Not only does it outline what your responsibility is as management, which is to ensure that your auditors are provided a clean set of financial statements to work off of, but we go on to state what our responsibility is for the audit process, and that is to ensure that we're generating an opinion. I'm happy to report for the fiscal year ended February 28, 2023, we have issued what is known as an unmodified opinion, which is the cleanest form of opinion that any government can receive. Ultimately, from our perspective, it reflects the fact that we believe the financial statements to be presented fairly in all material aspects and that there are sound internal controls in place over the different functions. Additionally, I just wanted to point out, you will see police and fire pension data reported throughout your audit. L&A does not conduct those audits. Ultimately, we rely on the skills, knowledge, and expertise of the independent audit firms that are conducting the police and fire pension audits, and we copy-paste that data into the city's financial statements. So I just wanted to point that out. Moving on. Thank you very much. So I had mentioned the Certificate of Achievement Award. There's a lengthy list of compliance requirements that must be met for that program, two of which are the addition of our transmittal letter and our statistical sections. These sections here have a huge benefit for council. There's a lot of very useful information within each of these. The transmittal letter can be found on PDF pages 9 through 13. And it's going to include a great deal of information pertaining to the local economy, some financial planning measures and other financial policies, operating highlights for fiscal year 2023, as well as information on some of the city awards. The statistical section can be found on PDF pages 221 through the entirety of the audit. There's a lot of great information related to 10-year trends, all things financial within that statistical sections. Last but not least, we have what we call our management's discussion and analysis, and this can be found on PDF pages 22 through 34. Save the best for last here. I know the management discussion and analysis will give you the best bird's eye view of fiscal year 2023. It's going to include a lot of great comparative data with that of the previous fiscal year. And I will be the first to admit as your auditor that sometimes those financial statements can get a little bit cumbersome and overwhelming to digest and interpret. So this management discussion and analysis section is put together by management and has a lot of great narrative information related to the audit process. So I would highly encourage members of council to spend most of your time and energy on this section here. That concludes my coverage of the audit. I'd be happy to field any questions, comments, or concerns.
Any questions? Alderman Williams.
Yes. Real quick, the police and fire pension, doing their separate, that's just common, or you guys don't have, is there anything that requires to be separate from you?
So it's oftentimes a perceived independence issue. So if we're conducting accounting for a specific fund, the fund's management oftentimes likes to outsource the actual audit function just so that there's kind of a changing of hands during that process. So it is more of a situation of that, where the pension funds are making their own independent decision to engage auditors for their own reason.
Okay, so that's a common practice?
Yes, very common.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Any other questions from the council? Thank you, Brad and
All right, really
Neha, for your
appreciate it.
time.
Thank you.
And Neha, you can take Brad into the side room for a cookie if you'd
Oh
like.
my gosh, thank you. Great for the long drive home.
There we go. Sugar
Thanks,
you up a
everyone.
little bit.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
The chair will entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the December 5th, 2023 regular city council meeting and approve the minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carries. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council first reading of ordinances into the record of this council meeting.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council reading of the consent agenda into the record of this council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries. The chair will now entertain a motion to place the consent agenda on final passage.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Voting will now be open if there is no discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no.
Mayor, I'm a yes.
Thank you, ma'am. And the motion carries with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The chair will now entertain a motion to remove agenda items numbers 2023-443 and 2023-537 from committee and place it on the debate
So
agenda.
moved.
We have a motion. Can I get a second?
To debate?
Debate.
Second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on pulling those two out of committee and putting them on debate? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Agenda item 2023-582 will remain in committee. So the next item on the agenda will be 2023-443, an ordinance authorizing purchase of a used grapple truck from various selected vendors or a comparable vendor for an amount not to exceed $290,000 for the Office of Public Works.
Mayor, I believe we have an amendment.
Alderman Hanauer?
I make a motion, we amend this order with amendment number 1.
All right. So we have a motion from Alderman Hanauer to adopt amendment number 1 for this particular ordinance, which will specify, instead of $290,000, the amount will be $303,910 and specifies the vendor. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the amendment?
And that's for a new truck, right? Or is that?
That
that's
would be
new
a
truck?
Vaux-Lesko question.
Yes, okay. It's a new vehicle. That's awesome.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor.
It's all right, Alderman Gregory?
Any ETA on, how fast it'll be here?
On it?
On delivery?
Yeah, we should receive it by the end of the fiscal year, yes. So, yeah, that was part of the specification.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So now we have an amended item 2023-443. Can I get a motion for final passage?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor of the motion then, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. Alderwoman Conley?
Yes.
And the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda, thank you, Dave and Mike. The next item on the agenda is item number 2023-537, an ordinance authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $4,646,847 from unappropriated fund balance to pay eligible expenses for costs associated with the Legacy Sports Park redevelopment agreement. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda item number 2023-595 on final passage.
Move.
Why did that say 595? Should say 537. There's a typo here, sorry.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and now we're into discussion. Alderman Redpath.
Yes. Val, could you tell me where are we at on them getting their bank approvals?
The financing is very stable. We've got a lot. I have personally reviewed $18,125,000 in naming rights. I've looked at that. We expect about $5 more million that will come in on naming rights this week. We have financing for $31.6 million from the local banks, and we have an additional $4.8 million loan agreement from another separate bank.
But for the developer to get his financial part of it done, is that?
Yes, that's what.
All that is?
The naming rights, the bank loan, yes.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that?
No.
Okay, thanks.
Alderman Williams.
Yes, this is related to the same thing. So, and this is a yes or no. So do they have something written from these banks
Yes.
guaranteeing, can we get a copy?
commitments.
Can we get a copy of it?
Loan commitments.
Loan commitments that's in writing, because she is answering in the affirmative.
Yes, if you want to inspect the loan commitments or the agreements, we can schedule a time and we can review.
Yeah, and I'm asking in public, I want to see in writing, not her believing and her feeling.
Absolutely. Well, I'm happy to schedule a time with you this week to
Sure.
go over this.
I'll get with you. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
So,
Alderman Gregory.
so my only question, other than the bank financing and I think commitments and all of that, it'd be good to see. But if that's all important, this portion, here and buying a blower for the dome and things of that nature. So my understanding of the agreement was that it was more like a TIF, whatever their dirt moving or their expenses there, we would cover our half on that situation. So that's really my concern. But if we truly have a bank financing situation, it's gonna get paid for one way or the other. So I'm willing to go with that as long as we concrete got it and we protect our taxpayers. Thank you.
I agree.
Alderwoman Conley, do you have any questions?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, anyone else in the horseshoe? Alderman Williams.
Yes, real quick. So, for clarity, financing this letter from the banks, is it supposed to be for future projects? Is this supposed to be in place before we get this far along?
So we've been working with the developer on their financing agreement. Under the second amended agreement, which was passed on October 3rd, they said that they're going to try to get it within 90 days of that second amended agreement. So they've been forthcoming with us about where they're at, and they knew that we've been clear on the city side that we weren't going to move forward until the financing commitment was in place. So I think that it's been clear and that there hasn't been movement, and this has been in committee because we haven't been to this point yet.
Yeah, well, so corporate counsel, we're voting on something tonight. My point is, I'm just trying to get clarity on how developers can get the work done and what the rule is, that financing is in place and then we move forward, or we can do what we're doing for legacy. What's the law, the rule, the ordinance? Maybe some of these older aldermen know, I don't know, but I need clarity because that's the discussion I'm having with some folks, that this particular project is being allowed all these other things that others have not been allowed. So I just need to hear from you what the ordinance or the rule is.
Sure. So there's no law that says we can't move forward with a project without financing in place. But I would tell you is it's not prudent to do that. So that's why we have not been moving this forward until this date. Now this appropriation, the money has been collected and been in a fund, but we have not turned it over now for 2.5 years since 2021 when we started collecting these funds. I can tell you the developer has spent in eligible costs up to now over $5 million in land acquisition, of which we have previously agreed to assist on a 50% contribution. But up until now, a part of the development agreement from the beginning has always been the city needs to be satisfied with the financing secured from the developer. And that's in our development agreement, the first amended agreement, and the second amended agreement. And I would say that the developer had not met that condition until recently, which is why the city has not moved forward with paying or reimbursing 50% of the land acquisition costs up until now, because we had not been satisfied with the financing. So that requirement, while not set in statute, is a way that the city can protect itself to make sure that we're not the only ones with skin in the game.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. Alderwoman Conley?
Yes.
And the motion passes with 9 voting yes and 1 voting present. The next item on the agenda is item number 2023-595, an ordinance authorizing and approving the purchase of SCADA EMS systems upgrade and configuration services with Open Systems International Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $214,500 for the Office of Public Utilities for emergency passage. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2023-595 on final passage.
So moved.
A motion, can I get a second? Any discussion on this item? Alderman Redpath.
Doug, could you come up, please? So did you guys put this out for bid, or is this how does this work?
This is basically the SCADA system, so it's an OEM. So it's the manufacturer for the system has to make changes in it, and it's basically a requirement that we have to do for compliance purposes. And it's going to take basically about a year to do it, and then some testing that has to occur after that. So they need to get it moving as fast as possible. Anything else to add?
Is this in conjunction? Go
The
ahead.
original bid for this, to put this system in, was an RFP many years ago. So it was competitively bid at that time, but now to change it out would be,
Where's this company out of?
I don't remember that.
Is this in conjunction to the upgrades you have to do for Dolman 4 coming up?
No, the SCADA system is our control system for the electric grid.
That doesn't affect that at all?
Nothing to do with Unifor.
Thank you.
OSI, but looks like Minnesota.
Oh, well, wait a minute.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. Alderwoman Conley?
I'm a yes, thank you, Mayor.
Yep. The motion passes with 11 voting yes, none voting no. The next, excuse me, the next, pardon me, the next item on the agenda is item number 2023-596, an ordinance regarding the Illinois Paid Leave for All Workers Act for the City of Springfield and amending Chapter 36, Section 36.19 of the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances for emergency passage. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2023-596 on final passage.
So moved.
We have a motion and we have a second, and it looks like we have some signed up to speak. Alderman Domlin.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. My understanding is, based upon my discussion with Corporation Counsel, is that this change to the Illinois Paid Leave for All Workers Act that's applicable here with this ordinance only applies to the city code, which is the only authority we as the City of Springfield presently have in place, in other words, for our own employees, not private employers and employees.
That's correct. We have no ordinance in place that applies to workers other than City of Springfield employees.
We've, a lot of us at the Horseshoe has been getting calls since about 3 o'clock this afternoon from businesses throughout Springfield that got wind that this act goes into effect in January, and the city has the ability to postpone the effective date from January 1 to some future date. My understanding is that the city of Chicago and Cook County, before this state law was put into place, already had their own Paid Leave for All Workers acts in place. Those two were grandfathered, and therefore those two entities have the ability to postpone the effective date. I just want to make it very clear to our businesses that have been calling and any of you that are interested in this topic that we, the City of Springfield, even though we're home rule, do not have that ability.
That's right, because we don't have an ordinance in place that requires the employers in Springfield to have paid leave for all workers. So there is no ordinance applicable at the municipal level that we can control in any way. So the Paid Leave for All Workers Act will go into effect January 1 for Springfield employers, and we don't have an ordinance that we're going to implement that dictates what paid leave needs to be paid at the municipal level.
Yeah, I feel for the businesses that are really all the employers that are impacted by the state law, because it's going into effect in January, even though the rules that are required by JCAR, through JCAR, the JCAR process, won't even be adopted at the earliest until March, so it's kind of backwards, but anyway.
Is that you good?
That's it, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for the clarification, because I was just about to ask you the same thing, but I am asking for businesses who are not watching tonight, so we have one message going out. Is there something that you can send to us as alder people to send out to our businesses who ask us? Like Alderman Donaldson said, I just received several phone calls on my way heading up the elevator to come into here, and I want to make sure I don't misspeak about what our rules are, our authority, and what you just said tonight. Is there anything you could send out to us in writing so that when we do get inquiries, we don't flood you with CCing you on emails?
Sure, I'm happy to send you a correspondence that outlines what our Chapter 36 does and does not do, and then provide you with a fact sheet on the Paid Leave for All Workers Act that can explain what the law is and what municipalities can and cannot do within that law.
Thank you, Mordock. That would be so helpful to get out there, and I'm sure all of us could use that, sending it out to our businesses. We each have some of them in our wards. Thank you.
Alderman Redpath.
My question was answered, Mayor. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, voting will now be open. All those in favor, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. Alderwoman Conley?
I'm a yes. Thank you, Mayor.
So the motion passes with 11 voting yes, none voting no. Is there any unfinished business to bring before the city council tonight? See, no one signed up to speak on unfinished business. New business, one of the things I want to remind everyone is we are closed next Tuesday at the city here. We're closed Monday and Tuesday. So the committee of the whole meeting will be on Wednesday evening, just so you all know when that will take place. Alderwoman Purchase.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Of course, I have something. You see my
I like your hat, and your glasses match your hat.
Thank you. 'Tis the season. I just want to wish my colleagues and everyone in the city of Springfield a Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. And then I would also like to make an announcement about this is our last week of the holiday walks. You can go downtown and shop local with all of our businesses from 4 to 8 p.m. and on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. too. We encourage you to go and visit Santa and the Lincolns at the Visitor Center. You can do ice skating, the Nutcracker, and music, etc. And you can visit the Downtown Springfield Inc. website at www.downtownspringfieldinc.org. I look forward to seeing you all this weekend. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Donlin.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I've been asked by a couple of the colleagues about an update on the budget hearings coming up. Do you want to mention anything about that tonight?
No, I was going to finish all of our meetings with our alder people that we have scheduled, and then we'll release that. So,
Okay, that's
yeah,
fine
and
with
we
me.
got to get with the clerk on that too, still.
Okay, but it's coming soon.
Correct.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're not done meeting with
Yeah.
all of the alder people yet. Alderman Williams, if you want to meet, you need to reach out and let us know, because I didn't hear back from you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you don't,
And
it's cool
Mayor,
too.
thank you for the meetings. They were very, it was very helpful.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciated that.
And then preemptively, I would like to, a day early, wish Gwen Harrison a happy birthday tomorrow.
Happy
You're
birthday.
welcome. So tomorrow's her big day.
Hi, Sagittarius twin.
So the next item would be citizens who have signed up to address the council. James Johnson.
Good evening. Since everybody in the Christmas spirit, I'm gonna try to be in the Christmas spirit too. So let me start with Mayor. I I just want to say, my Patriots beat the Steelers. That's all that matters this year.
Knew it was coming.
That's all that matters. We don't win another game, we beat you guys. And now I'm gonna exclude.
See, you're wearing 3 pieces of Patriots gear tonight too.
Yeah, just for you. So my other thing is, some of this stuff that I'm going to say, I'm going to exclude your administration because you're new. Unless they've been here with previous administrations, then they can be involved. But I'm going to do something different. I'm going to read a quote, and since we have a bunch of scholars around here, I'm going to see who knows what this is. And this is going to explain why I do what I do. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Now, the first thing I'm going to bring up is, for the past 6 months, I pay attention, even when I'm not here. And here, lately, I've just been coming back because I feel the need, I have to speak. A lot of people don't come up here and speak that really want to, but they feel intimidated by coming up here. Some feel scared to come up here and say. Then some have to worry about their jobs. So you're not going to get a lot of people because of those reasons. But believe me, some of this stuff, a lot of people feel the same way. A lot of our community is just watching, Mayor, to see what you're going to do. I've heard that a lot, just watching to see. So that's why I'm excluding you from a lot. The homeless situation. I've said it before. And I think somebody said it around this horseshoe. I think the police department said it. And I said it. It's going to continue to grow and be a problem. One, I think somebody said police departments are bringing people and dropping them off and leaving. It's true. Another thing I know for a fact is the corrections departments, and I don't know how far in the city or in the state, but they put people on buses to come to Springfield. When they're released, they give them a free pass to the train or bus to come here. So the arguments and the fight about where all these people coming from, just start looking deep. That's why. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're the capital. But that's one of the things that I wanted to touch on. CWLP. I'm going to give you a bag of coal for Christmas right now, and I'm going to skip. We're going to deal with them later in the new year. Lastly but not least.
They can burn the coal.
That's what we're trying not to do. SPD. I want to say this, because last time I was up here, and I don't know, it ain't even been a week, and we find a dead body. I want the chief to know that is a murder. And paying attention and listening to the investigation and what goes on with that. When the state police comes out with the other cases, then I'm going to come back to the PD and I'm going to drop some more information. Because I need everybody around this horseshoe to understand that just like that argument up here not too long ago as I walked in. See, there's rules for one side, then there's rules for another side. And nobody really wants to recognize that. And I don't know, I guess that gorilla in the room, nobody wants to point it out. But I'm going to point it out because some of our people, we get treated this way. Some get treated the other way. Because that whole money thing with people coming here to build, there's somebody who came way before you guys came around here. And the loops they had to go through to want to start a sports complex. You can best believe for the police department. Yeah, training. Yeah, it's not always fit for us. So there's training and how they handle us, and then there's training how they handle other people. And I will, when the state police finish, I'm coming right back here, and I'm gonna shed some light on some stuff that's probably not gonna be good. So you guys have a Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Johnson. Next person signed up to speak is Alice Ramey.
I got two things. One, the lights went out on my friend's electric, and they found out it was a tree, and they took care of it very, very fast. You still haven't taken care of the garbage that I told you about. But that's all right. I understand you're busy, and it's cold out there, and you don't want to shiver. But I do have a problem with a house at Poplar Place. Not Poplar Place, but Poplar Street. He has loaded his truck, or his thing that you haul behind there, full of trash. And when it was windy the other day, and most of the day, I got most of it in my yard for some reason, okay? I have told him to put something over the top of it, even though it's sitting in the yard. Also, I want you to know that the fire department came out about a week and a half ago, which I didn't talk about, and put out a fire that they started and did a very good job, and I want to thank you. And the police department did the same thing. They took care of the problem too. So all of you have a Merry Christmas. Take care of yourself and don't drink too much and don't follow behind a lady that doesn't know how to stop or back up. I had that problem, okay? Took me 3 months to get my car back. But I want all of you to be happy and have a beautiful, beautiful time with your family and all the memories that you can put together. And God bless you all, including you.
Merry Christmas, thank you. Is there anyone else that chooses to address the council? Director Posey wants to come address the council. Hello, Officer Newman, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I asked Officer Newman to come up here with me. First, I want to start off by commending Alderman Gregory. He's got a lot of calls and a lot of messages recently about some members of our unhoused population. I know the community does not like to see people down on their luck or out on the street in the cold and in the rain. And I just want to say that Alderman Gregory has done an exemplary job of making sure that he has continued to notify us whenever he gets these calls and these messages. I also want to say that Officer Newman and Shannon Allen do a phenomenal job interacting with our unhoused population, and I feel like they don't always get the credit that they deserve for being caring and working with the people that we have in Springfield that not everybody wants to work with and take the time to speak to. What I came here to do is actually speak more to the public and to our community here in Springfield. I understand in a lot of situations we feel like when we have more and someone has none, by giving what we have immediately to them, that we are helping. Unfortunately, in a lot of these situations, we're enabling members of our unhoused community to continue the behaviors that they're exhibiting that people are complaining about. And I would ask us to rethink our perspective on what is helping and giving aid from a short-term view to a long-term view. If we want members of our unhoused population to change their behaviors, we have to change the behaviors that we use to interact with them. It's hard to tell someone who's sleeping on the street that they need to move and go to a shelter when they've been provided 10 different blankets and they have 3 or 4 different meals that are underneath their blanket, and there's nothing that they can get from a shelter they feel like that they need that they don't already have because it's been provided freely to them. And then we turn around and we complain to our members of city council, or we complain to different agencies that people haven't moved and they're still in the same spot. I would implore the people of the public, instead of just giving food or giving clothes or giving blankets, to look into the multitude of organizations we have here in Springfield that help our unhoused community. The Heartland Housed and Continuum of Care, the Helping Hands, the Fifth Street Renaissance, the Washington Mission, the St. John's Breadline, and encourage them to utilize these services. The more we provide what we think are appropriate services as members of the community to our unhoused population, the less incentive they have to actually use the services of the qualified professionals who have dedicated their lives to assisting these members of the community. Now, I don't want people to stop sending messages to their city council member or giving calls when they see things they feel are not right. And if one of these members of the community is doing something that's breaking the law or infringing upon the right or on someone else's rights, I know the SPD will not stand for that. They don't stand for it when anyone infringes on someone else's rights. However, if someone is simply living and existing, they're on a sidewalk, they're on a street corner, although it hurts my heart morally to see it, if they are not breaking a law, we cannot ask our SPD officers to infringe upon their constitutional rights and forcibly move them from where they are. And I know for the public it's frustrating because it hurts to see someone who does not have and seems to be going without. But in order to incentivize people to change their behaviors, we must change the way that we interact with them. We need to give more tough love than the open arm hugs and cares that we've been giving. And I'm not saying that everyone in the community does that. I'm not saying that that causes homelessness. I'm saying it's making it more difficult to get people to utilize the services that we have. So this is me speaking from a community relations perspective to our community to try and adjust their perspective on what it is to help, on what it is to assist. A lot of people are very deep in their faith, and it says, when you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. When you teach a man to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. We're doing a lot of giving people fish and then wonder why they sit along the banks of the river with their hands out, rather than encouraging them to learn to use a fishing pole, and then they're self-sufficient, and as they're sitting on those banks, they're fishing and feeding themselves. It's a different perspective, but it's still helping, and I would implore our community to change our perspective on what it is to help those members of our community. Thank you.
Officer Newman, do you have anything you want to add? Any members of the council have any discussion? All right, well, with that being said, I guess the chair will entertain a motion for adjournment. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion carries. The end. 6:24.
Yep. Pretty good.
I'm gonna, can I use your Post-it?
Yes.
I'm gonna write down the dates and times for budget hearings and let you and your team decide if this will be okay. Sure. Is that all right? Well, I polled the directors and they would all rather give their presentation not on a council night.